It's home to Tinseltown and the Lakers, Los Angeles, California, as we bring you an interconference rivalry here at the Staples Center. We're happy to have you with us for 2K Sports midweek presentation of NBA basketball. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, our Hall of Fame sideline reporter David Aldridge. And a special treat here tonight. Joining us courtside is five-time NBA champion Kobe Bryant. Kobe, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure to stop by and help out.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
I'm sure.
You take a look at the 76ers. Well, it's been an improvement this year over last season. They made a lot of adjustments, and happy to see that they translate into some tangible results.
And seeing where the 76ers are, hanging where they are, right in the middle of the standings, will not make things easy for them down the stretch.
Well, it figures to be a hectic finish to the season as they attempt to lock down a postseason berth. They've got very little margin for error the rest of the way.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. So on the floor for Philadelphia, Curry is out there with Green. Then there's Ben Simmons. Then there's Embiid, and it's Harris in at the power forward position. And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. And over the course of your career, Kobe, 5 NBA championships. Are there any of those that really stand out among the 5 that you accumulated?
The last one, beating the Celtics. That was the hardest one by far to get.
Why so?
Well, you know, we're going into Boston now with the series tied 1-1. And Boston is absolutely excited about having this split and going home now and having 3 games at home, thinking that the series was not going to come back to L.A. And so that was an interesting playing flight for us, and then to go out and get the very next game, just to go down 3-2, coming back to L.A., and then to finally pull out that series after being down 15 in the fourth quarter against the Celtics. Can't get better than that.
I think they got to get it going. A 1-for-5 start, not what they want.
And Caldwell Pope gets the basket. Hey, Kobe, you know, when you take a look at great NBA rivalries, your mind goes more to the past than the present. I'm not sure why that is, but maybe you can enlighten us why rivalries seem to matter more or were more in our minds from yesteryear as opposed to today.
Because we can recall where we were then. Right?
Yeah,
the recollection is always more powerful in retrospect, right? I mean, that's always, you remember where you were when, you know, Magic hit that running hook shot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some people can remember where they were when Nelson hit that shot that bounced off the back of the rim and almost touched the rafters and fell back in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's those memories that create a lasting impact. And even though in today's game, you can look at it and say, there's no real rivalries in today's game. There are. But they're only sink in over time.
So you think the Cleveland-Golden State rivalry, because the greats are on opposite sides there, will linger and will resonate like that?
Absolutely.
Free throw, good. Drummond.
Yeah, I don't know if any big man has the combination of strength, speed, and hops that Drummond has, not to mention his length, an unreal physical specimen.
Simmons with it. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against the Clippers. You know, Kobe, the league seems to be moving away from isolation basketball, sometimes called hero ball, in favor of more ball movement, more of a fluid offense. What do you make of that trend?
Well, I think it's the right thing. I mean, if you look at the way the Knicks played, for example, when they had Bill Bradley, Busher, Phil was coming off the bench.
Well, you are a historian. You love the history of the game, don't you?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I can just tell working with you.
Yeah. Holtzman was coaching. You had Frazier out there. I mean, they moved the ball. I mean, everything was predicated on ball movement, as was the Celtics with Fred Howard. And then in the 80s, things changed a little bit. You start going to more isolation ball, where guys would post deep and force the double coverage to come all the way down to them, and then you start moving the ball around. Now you start seeing a spread offense where the ball's moving again like it was when the Knicks were playing, when the Celtics were playing. And so, you know, I think it just depends on the style of defense that you're seeing and the personnel that you have. I think that determines your style of play.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Howard's checked in. Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact and that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. If you were looking for personality traits in players and you were making that decision for a team, what trait would you value the most in a player?
No, curiosity. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's curiosity.
Why so?
Because curious people will always ask why things work or don't work.
And you were a big why asker.
You have to, because that's the only reason you win, is when you can figure out why things happen or didn't happen. Right? If you lose a game, a curious person won't point the finger. A curious person will say, well, why did we lose? Instead of just saying them.
Right.
They're going to go back and check the film and ask questions. Okay, why did we mess up there? Why did we blow that coverage there?
Now here's Green. Following the miss by Anthony Davis. Green kicks to Simmons. Gets that one to fall after missing his first two. 1 for 3 from the field. Well, Kobe, something that's such a huge tool in the NBA and the team's offense is the pick and roll, the screen roll game. You've done it as well as anybody. Just how are the nuances and the attention to detail important to make that play work?
Well, it's really important, but the screen roll today is run differently than it was, say, when Utah was running it with Stockton and Malone. What you're seeing now is more of a spread floor screen roll action where it makes rotations very difficult because you have to rotate off of shooters at a distance.
Right.
So now what you tend to see more teams try to down pick and roll coverages and sending guys to one side of the floor and try to play the screen roll coverage with 2 men and try to not have 3 guys in the action where you have to rotate and now push your team behind. Right? And that it's a dance of, can you play the screen roll with just 2 guys? And on offense, can I force you to have a third guy come in and rotate? If I can do that offensively, then you're behind.
Here's Drummond. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
The shooting percentage is really solid so far, fellas. Good start to this game for him.
He's made 2 of his 3 attempted tonight.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
And I know he's got to be upset at himself for shooting so poorly at the line. So I would think he'll be doing everything he can to bring those numbers up.
Now here's Curry. Boy, was he something else against the Clippers. And the wide open shot from Green. Off target from outside. Lakers leading by 4. Here's LeBron. Here's Davis. Up and in. Off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
And, you know, got to admire the patience inside from Davis. Outstanding at staying under control, taking his time, and burying the quality shot.
Now here's Howard. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And the basket by Harris. Talk, Kobe, about some of the great one-on-one scores. You might be the best ever, actually. But when you take a look at the crop now, who are some good guys in that one-on-one category that you like?
Kyrie's sensational. Yeah,
great handle. How about his handle? Like one of the best ever made.
Yeah, but he can post too, though.
No,
I mean, that's the thing is he can post up. He can turn left shoulder. He can turn right shoulder. He can shoot a left-hand jump hook coming across the middle. He can pull up going left. He can pull up going right. He can attack off the handle. He can attack off a triple threat. You know, he's built the game without any weaknesses. I think most players, should be thankful that he's not 6'6".
You're right, because he'd be Kobe Bryant then, right? He'd be Kobe Bryant. But I always thought that, when his dad played big-time college basketball, played in Australia, your dad played. I mean, there is something inherent, regardless of how much, that comes from the son of a pro player.
Growing up overseas as well.
Well, exactly, in Australia.
Growing up overseas as well. And look at his game being so fundamentally sound and having the basic structure. There's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. Green with the ball. He's picked up by Drummond. The drive by Green.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. Not one second chance bucket for the opposition. They're boxing out on every shot.
Here's James. He's coming off a 16-point game against Phoenix.
And how about the job he did rebounding as well, guys? I mean, just a dominant performance on the glass.
And Kobe, something that has changed in the NBA over the course of your career is the role of the power forward, the 4. More and more you need to be able to stretch the floor, take your guy outside, shoot the 3. Do you feel that that's a trend, or is that something you think that is here to stay in the NBA?
Well, I think things will evolve and things will change. I mean, you start getting power forwards like Tim Duncan and Garnett back in the league, Dirk. All of a sudden, it becomes less and less of a commodity to have smaller forwards.
Right.
Because you're going to need to deal with the Tim Duncans and the Garnetts of the world. So I think it's just a natural evolution thing.
Did you, when you had to guard a big like that, ever fear going out and trying to get him on the side or even working him inside the lane where he would have more power, more advantage?
No, I never worried about it too much. What I try to do is I always try to study the film and figure out what their tendencies are, what their sweet spots are, and you just try to get them off of that. It's not necessarily about the size of them, but how do you get yourself in position when you can knock them off balance a little bit and use the lack of size that you have to disorient them.
Davis, the pass to James. Some say, Kobe, that the shooting guard crop in the NBA right now, a little light in terms of depth, not quite as many top two guards as we used to see play the game. Who do you like among some of the two guards you see now in the NBA?
Well, it depends who we're considering a two guard.
Right,
now,
because they just
ones,
blend,
the twos,
don't they?
The threes, they all just blend.
Combo guards, you're playing some forward position. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. So, shooting guards to me are guards that have to do everything. You have to be able to play the post. You have to be able to play the perimeter. You have to be able to play the point. You have to do everything. So I'll put Russell Westbrook in that category. I'll put James Harden in that category. I'll put Kawhi Leonard in that category. There's a lot of players I'm forgetting. Even Giannis, I would say, is two guard because of what he does.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talented guards out there.
Did you like the ball in your hand, bringing it up, or would you have rather someone else bring it up, then get it to you in the half court, and then do what you did?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm jealous about Michael. Because Michael didn't have to do that. He had Pippen.
Yes, right. Who always brought it up.
Yeah, so he could focus on coming off the screens and catching and shooting. He didn't have to think about facilitating first. He could think about scoring and then passing out of double teams.
Defensively, they've got to pick up the intensity. Hard to win surrendering this high a field goal percentage.
Yeah, you've got to turn up the dial on the intensity at the defensive end if you're them. I mean, it's still early, but I agree with you.
Now here's Chandler. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Shot clock at 3. Howard. It's in. That's his third field goal of the game. He's 3 for 5. And in the history of the NBA, only a handful of players have lasted 20 seasons. Kobe, you played all 20 with the Los Angeles Lakers, an NBA record for seasons with one team. What does it mean to just having worn that Laker jersey your entire career?
Well, I mean, it's a huge honor. I've always been a massive Laker fan, even when I was a kid. And so I never dreamed that I'd actually be wearing the golden armor for my NBA career. So to be sitting here right now, having played 20 years, is literally the coolest dream that could have ever happened to any kid happened to me.
And I don't know that it'll happen again. The way the league is structured now, the money, the free agency, even though you had a chance to leave a couple times, you always chose to stay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's loyalty is a word that you hear thrown around often. But in this day and age, it's very tough to see in sports because of the cap, because of, the free agency market and so forth and so on. So I've been very, very fortunate to have a great organization and to be able to have played 20 years of my career here.
Kobe, you were a player who lived in the gym. What motivated you as you go back and look at all those hours you spent in the gym to do that, to follow that path?
I loved it. I loved the game. It wasn't a matter of working hard. I didn't realize I was working hard until like my second or third year in the league, when I realized here in the NBA, a lot of players don't do that.
Right.
It was kind of a big shock to me. Like, I assumed everybody in the NBA
just worked hard.
Yeah, but to me, it wasn't hard work. It was like, I love doing this. Like, there's no place on earth I'd rather be than be here in this gym with the basketball and the hoop.
But the greats are always the hardest workers, aren't they? I mean, right? Have you ever seen a great player who is not the hardest worker on their team?
No, I've seen players have great seasons. And, and then the next season, it's not so much. Right. And then they have another great one. And the consistency isn't there. Mm-hmm. The truly great players love what they do. And that looks like hard work to the outside world.
Did you enjoy playing the game? There was so much you put into the game, but did you enjoy the game?
I did. I enjoyed the game. I loved playing, the competition and all that, the getting ready and all that. But I enjoyed practice more.
Did you?
I did. I enjoyed training and practice more than I did the games.
Here's Chandler. Following the basket by Marc Gasol. And the trend around the league, Kobe, is more offense, more three-pointers, certainly spacing, fluid offense. Scoring is up around the league in a measurable way from, it seems like, year to year. Do you like the way this is trending, or do you think the NBA should maybe put a governor on this, harness it in just a little bit?
Well, I think it'll swing back to the way,
Do you?
Yeah, because the game has gone through that progression before. It's constantly evolving. And so I think you'll see it swing back eventually. You'll have a couple teams that are just big and may have a dominant post player, and all of a sudden you're going inside, and then that team will win a championship, and then the rest of the teams in the league will try to copycat the way the game is played that way. Then things will swing back. So it's just natural evolution of the game, I think.
And it's blocked. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. .54 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I agree. Not a lot of activity chasing down their misses. Some teams focus on getting back, and I understand that, but you should send at least one guy after those.
Now Matthews. George Hill missing on the three. Just 4 to shoot. Gasol kicks to Harrell. Off target from three-point range. The 76ers trail by 5. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Now here is Hill. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change.
Already his second foul. He's in danger of getting into serious foul trouble early in this game.
The 76ers have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. No good on the second free throw. Right side Matthews. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession. And that does it for the first quarter. Lakers lead by 5. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And we got a chance to hear from LeBron James about the hard work and preparation.
Go back and I'm able to,
I think you'd have to say the preparation really shows on the court in his play, and rarely does he look surprised out there or caught off guard.
And Kevin, that's really just the mark of a total pro. And I don't think oftentimes the fans appreciate how much goes in terms of preparation. Some guys get it and some guys don't. But he's a perfect example of what proper preparation means in terms of preventing a poor performance.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And taking a look at Los Angeles' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing?
I tell you what, that first quarter, you can see the game plan is a commitment to offensive rebounding.
And you know what, Greg? It looks like they have an advantage there. I mean, I liked how they've made an effort, really a concentrated effort, to hit that glass.
So to begin the second quarter for the Philadelphia 76ers, we've got Wilson Chandler. Thomas is out there with Tony Parker. Then it's Mike Scott. And it's Embiid in at the 5, roaming the paint. Now, here's Scott. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Chandler kicks to Thomas. Hits it from three-point range.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt. And here is Harrell. After Isaiah Thomas made that last three-pointer. Takes it from 10. 5 on the clock. Matthews against Chandler. Matthews no good. The 76ers trail by 4. Embiid dishes to Thomas. And there's the feed to Chandler. Another shot. A rebound by the Lakers. Gasol's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Outside Matthews. Now Harrell. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. And the Lakers lead by 6. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. For a guy like yourself who made an incredible amount of three-point shots during your career, what is it like watching Steph Curry? Just how much has he changed the league? It was always watching the dunks of Jordan. Now we got kids that want to shoot the ball from distance.
Yeah. Shooting the ball from distance now has kind of become like a home run in baseball, right? Where it's exciting to watch the ball in flight. I think it's great because it just adds more love to the game, more things that players could do or kids can do that can't dunk. Right? It's like dunking was the thing, right? But now the kids that can dunk, there's something else that's fun. There's something else that's entertaining, like shooting threes. Right? So
boy, that takes a lot of work. Huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, it's a lot of repetition.
Hundreds of shots daily.
Yeah, and it's a lot of repetition. And, Steph, you watch him out there playing and making all these shots. He's put in hours and hours and hours of hard work and continues to do so.
Chandler. Again, the miss by Chandler.
Not a lot going his way. Everything he's shooting is just off the mark. I mean, somehow he's got to figure out a way to turn it around.
Now here's Gasol. He's got 7. There's a screen. Here's Matthews. There we go. Now in the scoring column with that make, he is 1 for 4. With that three-point shooting on the rise, Kobe, if you were coming into the league right now, would you try to lean more in that direction than the incredible acrobat that you were when you were in your prime?
It depends who I was playing against. I try to build my game to be able to do all those things.
And you could. I mean, you're like one of the few guys that could do all this.
Yeah, so it just depends on who I was matching up against, which determines then how I would try to punish the defense.
I like that word.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a softer one. And I was like, no, punish is a good one.
You're honest. A platoon swap here for the Lakers. Foul on the play, basket counts, so it'll be a three-point play chance. It's going to be Embiid shooting. That's on LeBron James. Philadelphia shooting the 6th attempt at the free throw line tonight.
You got to love watching Embiid play the game because he has such great passion and really a drive to be great.
So last season, Kobe, one of the closest MVP races we've had in a long time, came down to Westbrook and Harden. Who did you think was going to win before the results came out, and why?
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could sit there and say,
LA kids too.
Yeah, I know them both extremely well, and they're both extremely deserving of it. So I refuse to split it.
Yeah.
They're both my guys.
And different kinds of games, and both sensational individual players.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they can do so many things in the game. And now I think the next progression for them is to be able to dominate the game off the ball just as much as they can dominate on the ball, right? Because in the playoffs, the defense has a hard time finding it.
Now here's Simmons. He's certainly been a consistent piece of their offense, averaging about 14.5 points a game.
And at 250 lbs, Embiid is a terror inside, using that large frame to draw those fouls.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Lakers.
Great hustle defensively through the first half, contesting everything and racking up the block shots.
They've also shown some real tenacity here early on tonight, and it's paid off with a lot of second chance points.
And to have the ball in your hands at all times, always bringing it up. It's exhausting, though, right? That's what they say.
But they see you. The defense sees you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're handling the ball, the defense has eyes on you at all times. You're here. You're right in front of the defense. When you don't have the ball, you're moving behind them. Curry moves behind. They bring it up, pass it, and now he's running off the screens behind the defense, right? And it's hard to find him.
Rip Hamilton the same way.
Same way.
I know.
Jordan, flare picks, down screens, slicing into the post, right? Coming up to the pinch post. All those operational things take place behind the view of the defense.
And here is Simmons after LeBron James hitting the three. Harris against Davis. Count it. Good.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. Curry's checked in for Philadelphia.
One shot.
And that one falls for Davis.
Davis is really the total package, a mobile, sharp-shooting big guy who can score from everywhere.
And Kobe, you look around the league and you see a lot of former players as head coaches, guys that you actually played against. Have you ever thought about coaching down the line?
Nope. No, I have not. Not for me. You know, it's for them, though, but it's not for me.
I would think that it would be tough to try to get the same result out of players you coach and not comparing it to the way you play, the way you prepare, the way you were coached.
That's what I hear. I just don't have the desire to even think about it that far. I mean, it's not something that I'm into. But that's the challenges I hear. You know, when Bird was coaching, when Magic was coaching, I always hear that as being the challenge. But ultimately, you know, you have to find different ways to motivate players. And, you know, nobody's the same, right? So you just try to have to figure out how to get them to their highest level. But still in all, coaching is just not for me.
Here's Curry following the basket by LeBron James. Harris against Davis. Harris passes to Embiid. Looking to end the run, and that's 2 points on the layup. Embiid's got 9 points.
Really like seeing Embiid exert his will, be assertive here. I mean, getting whatever shot he wants inside.
Here's Schroeder.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My goodness.
Such a strong finisher for a floor general.
He was up high, and he came down hard. Exquisitely done.
That's the uncanny ability he has to find a teammate for an easy basket or get one himself.
And Kobe, did the Laker front office ever talk to you or just brush an idea past you to get your opinion on things, whether it be a trade or a free agent signing or whatever?
No, we never really did that. We never had that kind of working relationship. And I think it's actually better that way. Because then it enables me to have a better relationship with the guys where they know I'm not involved in those decisions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if so, it makes it weird. In that relationship, guys get traded and teammates are looking at you and it's hard for them to trust you and all sorts of stuff. The most conversation I had was with Dr. Buss in this very shaky time.
Yes.
Where I voiced my concerns and he said, listen, I promise you, we see the right trade, we will pull the trigger and I'm going to do everything I can to get you a championship. I promise you that. And after he said that, I trusted him completely. That was that. And then the following year, he made a beautiful trade for Pau Gasol.
He sure did. And a couple championships. Worked out well.
Yeah, it did.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And the Australian Simmons is a star in the making thanks to his extremely versatile and high-level skill set and big frame.
Now here's McLemore. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
One way to protect the lead, knock down those free throws, and 100% free throwing for the quarter, that's superb.
Both free throws good from James.
And James, a natural leader, someone his teammates look up to, and he just has that commanding presence.
And Kobe, your spectacular high school career at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, in that Philadelphia area, paved the way for your NBA career. Talk about some of the highlights of your days in high school.
Well, my days in high school were fun. I mean, I played at a small high school called Lower Merion High School, so not too many people heard of it. You know, when you come to Philadelphia, the schools that you hear of are Overbrook, where Wilt Chamberlain went to school, Bartram, right, where Earl the Pearl Monroe went to school, right? But you never heard of little old Lower Merion High School, right? So it was a huge honor to be able to bring a state championship to Lower Merion. It kind of put Lower Merion on the map, and that's the most exciting part about it.
Oh, a terrific story indeed. A huge honor, I'm sure. Los Angeles making a switch here. Caldwell Pope's checked in. Good on the second free throw. And Kobe, you've had so many fans from high school that carried over to your NBA days. In the stands now, in fact, you'll see fans with Lower Merion High School jerseys on.
How cool is that?
That's amazing.
How cool is that? You know, to actually be able to see a bunch of Aces jerseys in the crowd when literally nobody knew where Lower Merion was. And there's actually a school called Upper Merion. So everybody used to confuse the two. Just say, hey, yeah, I saw you when you played at Upper Merion. Say, hold on, dude. No. Lower Merion, man. Get it right. Don't forget it. Lower Merion.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
This season, he has been absolutely locked in at the free throw line. How about 90%?
Guys, I don't think there's any doubt that the work he's put in practicing free throw shooting has paid off. I mean, he's made nice strides in getting those shooting percentage numbers up.
Well, you got to play against some great defenders in the NBA like Draymond Green of Golden State and others. What are some of the things that, I mentioned Draymond Green, that he does as a player that you think separates him from the rest of the defensive guys in the league?
He does his research. He does his homework.
You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell. When you watch him play, he puts himself in position before the offensive player even attacks. And how does he know that? Because he's watched the film. He studies. He knows the player's tendencies. And so when you mix in the research to go along with his frame and the quick hands and the foot speed, then you have a defensive player that's a force.
And Kobe, how did you learn to watch tape? Because there are guys now watching tape and they'll just go, and you wonder if it's really even sinking in.
Trial and error.
Yeah, right. But really, that was it.
Trial and error. You start looking at things, you start saying, man, like if I'm watching an edit on the player and I watch one particular game and then I look at the next game and he's doing the same thing. And the next night, he's doing the same thing. Hold on, let me go back and watch. And then you start looking for consistent behaviors or patterns in their behavior. And then you think, okay, maybe that's something that's a tendency for him. Let me go back and check. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's it.
There's the pattern.
Right? So what if I interrupt him between his first and second dribble and throw him off a rhythm? What'll happen then? Right? What if I know he's going to go 1-2, turn right shoulder? I let him go 1-2. Now I jump to his right shoulder. Now you can't turn there. What happens then? Right? You throw them off of their patterns.
LeBron's shot is good. Kobe LeBron said he learned so much about how to approach the game when you shared the floor on Team USA. What was it like playing with a guy like him, as you also played with Jordan, and then going up against him all those years?
Well, I think it was a shocking experience for them because I don't think they realized how much I talk trash. So,
no.
Yeah,
what?
I don't think they knew because, when you from a distance, you thought you were quiet and all some stuff, and you get to practice, and I just don't shut up. And I'm just saying really brutal things about their game. And it's just, they're getting really ticked off. But then,
because you were right.
Yeah,
right,
but then the intensity of practice goes up another level. And then we'd all go out to dinner. And then the next morning, we come into the meeting, and I've already been working out for 2 hours. So then they see that. And then, D-Wade would come up and say, hey, man, I want to join you in your workouts. What time are we going? 5 a.m. I'd be down there working out. And Brian would say, yeah, I'm going to come too. And Brian would show up. And then Melo would show up. And all slowly but surely, we have our whole USA team in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning training.
What a constructive time, I would think.
Oh,
for those other players.
But it was fun for all of us because we got a chance to hang around each other and think about the competition, right? So now when we come back to the NBA, fans are getting a better product, right? Because we've all been working out and pushing each other and getting better off of each other. So now when we step on the court to compete against each other, that means we have to take our games to another level.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. And the first one drops.
He didn't get to the line in that entire first quarter. But right now, he's showing some aggressiveness out there.
And Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Howard's checked in for Joel Embiid. Chandler comes in for Tobias Harris. Hill, he's checked in for Danny Green. And Isaiah Thomas subbed in for Seth Curry. And the Lakers with possession here. Lets it go from deep. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
And this really is the story of the game. They've been outstanding from beyond the arc, especially in the second quarter.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by, Kobe. Hope you come back and join us again.
I definitely will. I had a great time, man. Thank you for having me.
And Clark, you've been broadcasting for the entire span of Kobe's playing career. How is it to share a booth with someone who you've watched progress throughout their entire career?
Well, it certainly reminds me that I'm moving into that last block on the demographic charts. I'm in the early third quarter, if you will, that's for sure. But it's a treat because it's wonderful to see how he grew as a player and as a man, and much respect for Kobe Bryant because he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and doing great things off the court, too.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Thomas a screen. Hill kicks to Simmons. Matthews with the steal. Caldwell Pope outside. Davis on the follow. Davis has got 8 points here in this quarter.
Just so resourceful as a player. Davis gets the job done inside in all sorts of ways, and that's one of them right there, crashing the offensive glass, getting that second chance bucket.
And so it's the Los Angeles Lakers in complete command. Their lead at 28 points going into the break. A look at the field goal percentage numbers tells the story of what tough defense they're playing today. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Andre, the offense was successful in the first half. Any adjustments the rest of the way?
But we just got to stick to what we're doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So whatever play we're running that's working, we got to continue to use it until they stop it.
That's the way of the NBA, Andre. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet. LeBron James putting in some incredible work. He had 21 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 block. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Lakers.
LeBron might have actually reached a new level for how to control a basketball game. You know he can score his points at any time he likes. He can lock down almost anyone defensively. And at times, he's like he's in a Zen state where he's playing chess, like a chess master, moving the pieces around the board flawlessly.
Shaq, what'd you think about Philadelphia?
Well, they got a ton of issues to work out. Allow way too high a percentage to be shot against them. Not really showing any energy on defense. No discipline. Look at their faces, Ernie. Do they even want to be here?
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but you know, and Clark, just how important to a team is it to have a veteran presence on it? Like, how did the vets on the Pacers help you when you were a rookie or a young player in the league?
You know what? I think it's invaluable, Kevin. I was a 21-year-old rookie. I left after my junior year at Ohio State. And veteran players, Herb Williams, had been there a year or two. Guys like Billy Knight and George Johnson, Butch Carter were around. And having those guys talk about what it takes, and we were a very young team and had young veterans, but still they were invaluable in terms of giving you an example of how to go about your business to be successful as a pro.
LeBron James is out there with Anthony Davis. Then there's Dennis Schroeder. Then it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And it's Drummond in at the 5. And that's the group for Luke Walton as we begin the second half.
Well, you know, one of the things young teams typically struggle with is defense. I mean, no surprise that the Lakers have struggled in that area. A lot for them to clean up before they can battle with the big boys across the NBA.
Schroeder kicks to James. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Schroeder's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. Feeds it to Green. There's the pick. They get a hand on it, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Harris. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going for Simmons.
And the three-point game stands out as a major sore spot. It just has not been falling for him. I think at this point you start to get away from that shot. Try to engage in other parts of the offense. You don't want to hurt your team if that long ball isn't there.
Schroeder dishes to Drummond. Davis sets a screen. Fires the 3. Oh, he got hacked on the three-pointer. He'll head to the line. All right, we've got a bit of a break now, so here's a look at the league's top scoring teams. The Lakers second.
And how about the year they've had offensively? This is a team that can put points on the board in a hurry. Always fun to watch them play.
Free throw good, James. And Lakers head coach Luke Walton got his start as an NBA coach in Golden State as a top assistant. He said, looking back, he would have paid to coach under Steve Kerr with everything he's learned.
Wow, that's a high compliment from Walton. Kerr and Walton have very similar personalities, too. I mean, both are pretty even-keeled, low-key kind of guys. And when Kerr's back surgery sidelined him, Walton led the Warriors to the best start in NBA history. Pretty amazing.
Simmons against Schroeder. Davis with a screen on Simmons. Just 5 to shoot. Davis with the bucket.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
Yeah, you know, continue to pour it on them. That's what they want to do right now. Doing their best to put this game out of reach and in the win column.
Curry passes it to Harris. He feeds it to Embiid. Curry kicks to Green. Over Caldwell Pope. The 76ers again can't hit it.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
And for the Sixers this summer, all the talk was whether they'd get the Lakers pick if it fell outside the top 3. They end up swapping picks with the Kings, who jump into the top 3.
Yeah, and the Kings ended up, Kevin, getting the Sixers pick at number 5. Still a jump from the 8th spot in the draft order, so not all bad for them. That goes back to 2015 when the Kings made a trade to clear cap space for Rajon Rondo.
Outside for Curry. Shoots over Schroeder. No good. They had a chance to end the run there.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those days. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it's just not working for you.
And the shot goes in.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
And the shot goes in. Simmons got 7 points in the game.
When he's sprinting down the court like that to the basket, Simmons is virtually impossible to stop.
Here's LeBron. Doesn't go that time. So Philadelphia will take it the other way. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And when you shoot a high percentage from distance, that gives you momentum and really keeps the opponent on the ropes.
Yep, exactly. And it also stretches that defense out a little bit, expands the floor for you, and makes things really hard for the defenders when you space and stretch them like that.
They set the pick. Goes up the baseline, and he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Well, I tell you what, I like the clip he's shooting at. Extremely effective. If you're on defense now, you got to get the ball out of his hands.
And slams it home and gets some camera time on the end of it.
He did. He spent a while up on that rim, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, the refs are much more lenient with that kind of situation than they used to be.
And shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, Greg, because nothing is falling right now. But he's going to keep chipping away at it, and that's the attitude. Stay with it.
And he makes the bucket through contact and gets the whistle, too. It's going to be Embiid shooting. Andre Drummond picks one up. Some changes for Philadelphia. Mike Scott comes in for Simmons, and Tony Parker subbed in for Danny Green. And Ben Simmons putting on over 30 pounds of muscle going into his rookie season. Do you think there was any connection between that extra weight and the broken bone he suffered in his foot?
I could certainly understand why people might speculate that, but I'm not going to go there. Clearly, strength is more important than additional weight, and those kinds of injuries do tend to show up because of overuse, though, Kevin.
Pass to Embiid. This one for 3, and it's good on the assist by Parker. 19 points for Joel Embiid.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
And here is Harrell. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Here's Harris. That's in for his 5th field goal of the game. Makes him 5 for 12 so far. The Lakers have gone 6 of 10 from the field in the 3rd quarter. Drummond a screen. James wide open. And he's good on the three ball. James has got a pair of threes now here in the third for Los Angeles. Curry with it. Looking at his numbers, he averages a bit over 9 points a game. Kicks it to Embiid. That's in for his 8th bucket tonight. A hot 8 for 11 shooting so far.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth, physical basketball, guys.
And James throws it down.
LeBron James throwing it down is a thing of beauty. An incredible athlete who makes dunking look as easy as it can look.
The dish to Harris. Fires for 3. They get the rebound. Curry passes to Parker. Embiid with it. He's picked up by Drummond.
Parker.
Here's Curry, and the 76ers tack on 2 more. Lakers have gone 8 of 12 from the field since the beginning of the third. Picked by Harrell. In the corner, it's James. A baseline J. Again, Los Angeles.
I tell you, he's beating up the defense in this quarter, going right at him and scoring in a variety of ways.
Parker against Schroeder. Here's Embiid. Rebound by Harrell. Los Angeles has gone 2 of 3 when they ventured outside the arc in the third quarter. Passes it to Kuzma. Picked by Harrell. Schroeder outside. Goes up off the pick.
Talk about bringing the heat, the thunder, and the lightning on that pound.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, that took the defender right out of the play.
Embiid sets the pick for Curry. Clock at 4. Buries it from 3-point range. Curry's got 5 points in the quarter.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. Those 3-point bombs will erase the deficit quickly if they can keep it up.
Here's James, and there's another one for the Lakers.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Embiid the screen. Parker dishes to Embiid. Pass to Curry. And it's Parker in the corner. Embiid with a screen on Drummond. Parker up again. Great positioning on the putback.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Schroeder kicks to James. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. LeBron's got 40 points.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
Outside Curry. He dishes it to Embiid. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Embiid's got 25 points.
And Embiid is H-E efficient. That's super efficient, folks. When he gets cooking, the defense knows they're in for a long night.
Parker against Schroeder. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
Looked like he rushed the layup to me. I mean, the defense was late on contesting that one.
Harris with it. He's picked up by Drummond. Embiid sets the pick for Curry. And it's blocked. Here's Kuzma, guarded by Curry. And it's Schroeder in the corner. And Philadelphia grabs the miss. Embiid's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. And the shot is long.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
LeBron against Scott. LeBron kicks to Drummond. Lakers working the ball around now from downtown, and James gets it to go on the assist by Drummond. LeBron's got 43 points. Parker kicks to Curry. The pass to Harris. There's the pick. Baseline try, and he hits the jump shot. Harris has got 9 points now in just the second half.
Yeah, those shots are taken totally in rhythm, high percentage quality shots, and really getting whatever he wants.
Drummond with a screen on Scott. To the middle. And that one's good. Drummond's got 12 in the game.
And, you know, Drummond is an experienced big man now, and because of that, he's gained confidence and has no problem shooting over the defense inside.
Screen by Parker. Harris kicks to Curry. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. 8 points for him.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
LeBron right side. Shoots over Scott. A shot by LeBron. No good. Philadelphia's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. They're 6 of 13. Here is Parker. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Curry kicks to Harris. Releases from 15. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And so it's Los Angeles with a massive lead of 30 points here at the end of the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding, amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Philadelphia shooting at a decent 44% clip here. Taking a look at the 76ers. They've got Howard. Parker out there with George Hill. Then it's Amir Johnson, and it's Korkmaz in at the 3 spot. Expanding his range. Here's Howard. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
Howard really brings it on the offensive glass, using that wide wingspan to come up with those loose balls.
Dishes it to McLemore. He kicks it to Harrell. Morris a screen. 6 to shoot. 3 from Matthews. No good on that one. And it's Philadelphia the other way.
You know what? They're winning, though, despite the fact that he has just been really off.
Here's Hill with the second effort. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Not easy to wrap up Howard, one of the strongest players in the league.
And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for Los Angeles.
What a tremendous showing from the three-pointer all through this game.
Something that also stands out tonight is the number of assists they have. I mean, that's a mark of a good club.
Parker outside. Screen by Howard. The feed to Hill. Pass to Howard. Rebound by Harrell.
Now, good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
And that's a good place to start if you're going to try to find your way back into this game. Get to work on the glass.
Morris a screen. Feeds to Harrell. 9 feet out, and it's sent back by Howard.
And he's led the league in block shots on multiple occasions, and Howard's still a presence down low.
Here's Korkmaz, down low. Over Morris. Here's Johnson, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Outside Matthews. Morris a screen. Los Angeles with another miss.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
Outside Hill. Johnson the screen. Hill passes to Parker. It's back to Hill. Philadelphia moving the ball around. Here's Korkmaz. Good, and it's Johnson with the assist that time. Lakers leading by 20. Los Angeles calls timeout. We know that getting to the free throw line is almost a skill unto itself, Clark. Which players are elite in your mind in their ability to draw contact?
Well, Kevin, one of the first guys that comes to mind is James Harden, and Russell Westbrook would be another. So good at attacking the defense, putting their bodies into the defender, and because of that, they make it hard for the defenders to guard them without fouling. But those two guys come to mind right away in having that skill of drawing fouls.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Marc Gasol's checked in for Morris. Davis comes in for Montrezl Harrell. And it's Caldwell Pope in for Ben McLemore.
And the three-pointer, a big part of KCP's game. About half his shots come from out there.
And Simmons kicks to Howard. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Just a positive force right now for these guys. And though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him.
And the Lakers, Greg, for a long time could rely on the lure of Los Angeles to draw top free agents. History does a lot, it seems.
Yeah, Paul George listing them on his short list shows they still have that pull, but the Lakers will be big players in free agency, I believe, in the near future.
Matthews dishes to Caldwell Pope. Davis sets a screen. Great tee that time from Green.
You know, the defense knew how to play at that time, liked how they made their presence felt without committing the foul.
And they found the touch from the field here in the second half. It was a struggle in that first.
Davis sets a screen. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Davis has got 21 in the game.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Chalk up 2 there. Howard's got 10 points here in the second half.
And Howard just shrugging off the competitive defense there, using his muscle to get the job done near the basket.
Over in the corner, Matthews. Caldwell Pope outside. Gasol setting the pick for Caldwell Pope. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. And the Lakers lead by 20.
And part of an overall effort for Kentavious going for higher percentage shots. That time working inside.
Now, Greg, you look at Wilson Chandler, and he is just perfect for coming off the bench.
And Chandler can be a bit of a streaky player, which is why he shifts between a starter and a sixth man. But he's fearless with the ball on the offensive end, and you can always count on him to kind of provide you with a spark. And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Yeah, they're making the most of their opportunities at the stripe, and they'll need to keep it up to take the lead.
Dennis Schroeder's checked in for the Lakers. Good on both. Here's Schroeder. Caldwell Pope on the wing. Gasol kicks it over to Schroeder. Gets a hand on it. Davis on the follow. Davis has got 23 points.
Oh, smooth. Guys, very good job getting himself in close enough that he could just tip it back in.
Well said. Those kind of plays in the offensive glass can tell the story sometimes, can't they?
Yes, they can, Kevin. They can't allow him to beat them to too many more of those.
He feeds it to Schroeder. Over in the corner, Matthews. His three-pointers off the mark. The 76ers trailed by 20. Thomas kicks to Simmons. And so he draws the foul on the shot. Trip to the line to shoot two. And Ben Simmons said he didn't take a lot of outside shots in college because he didn't need to. He could get to the rim pretty much at will.
Well, he'll find that will not be the case at this level. His shots inside will be challenged a lot more. His perimeter shot has been the question mark, and that's where I think he's got to improve.
And the NBA has tinkered with the All-Star voting in recent years. Fans no longer get 100% of the say for the starters. Clark, how do you feel about that change?
I like it. I mean, again, the fans desire to be involved and should have an opportunity to be engaged in the voting because they're so important to the success and popularity of the league. So I like the fans having a piece of the voting. 100% is far too much, so I think the fact that you've got it weighted between fans and those who follow the league closely, along with coaches, is about the right blend to me.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, LeBron James.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
He sure has given this crowd a treat tonight. This kind of performance only cements his status as a fan favorite. Philadelphia's gone 7 of 15 from three-point range tonight. They're not afraid of that shot. Here's Simmons. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And really few teams in NBA history have undertaken the sort of extreme makeover the Sixers did over the last 4 years. And a lot of losing along the way, but the fans have been surprisingly supportive of the rebuilding process.
And before the rebuild, the Sixers for a long time were stuck in mediocrity. Treading water, Greg, as they might say.
Yeah, and it's hard to make that leap without top draft picks. And the Sixers plumbed the depths, if you will. Now, though, I think they found their treasure trove.
Clark, a lot of former players had a specific instance when they knew they were special, the way they played the game of basketball. Did you ever have a moment like that where you realized that you could make it as a player?
Yeah, there was a time when that became more realistic to me, Kevin. And I grew up in Cleveland, and during the summers, a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers would stay in the area and play pickup basketball to stay in shape. And I got a chance to bump heads with a lot of those guys, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow, Austin Carr, Dingo Smith, Mike Mitchell. And I was only 15, 16 years old. And while those guys were going at half speed, it gave me the encouragement that I might be able to get to where they were if I continued to work hard and stay healthy. So at 15 or 16, during one of those summers, I began to realize that I might have a chance to realize the dream of being an NBA.
James, the pass to Davis. That one's no good. Takes him to 10 for 15 for the game. Caldwell Pope against Green. Curry wide open. Good. And it's Green picking up the assist.
And I don't care how far from the bucket he is. You've got to have a man on him. He's just too good from deep.
Davis kicks to Gasol. And Gasol slams it in.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much elevation for Gasol to throw one down, of course, unless somebody's standing right in his way. That dunk is going to be easy money for him.
And Simmons kicks to Embiid. Again, Embiid missing. Lakers leading by 22. Outside, Davis kicks it to James. Gasol a screen. Here's Davis. That doesn't go either for Davis.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen, got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
Schroeder dishes to James. Over Simmons, and that one's good. James. James has got 47 points.
Well, he's willed this team to the lead, demanding the rock and capitalizing with ease.
Here's Simmons. Doesn't get it to drop for him. Great D that time from James. Schroeder outside. James against Simmons. Over Simmons. That one's rebounded by Embiid. Philadelphia's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Caldwell Pope against Green. Embiid with a screen on Gasol. Simmons passes to Harris. Great D that time from Dennis Schroeder. Los Angeles leading by 22. LeBron kicks it over to Schroeder. There's the dish to Davis. Lakers passing it around. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. 14 points for Kentavious Caldwell Pope. On the wing, Harris. Passes to Embiid. Back to Harris. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
And, you know, Kevin, they count on him to provide offense, and he knows how to fill it up.
Thinking back to the great Warrior team from last year, Clark, how do you place them in a historical context for what they accomplished?
Well, they're on a short list of one of the great teams of all time in terms of winning a championship and what they did throughout the season to do so. You'd have to consider them as one of the outstanding teams in the history of the NBA.
LeBron dishes to Gasol. 5 to shoot. Shoots. Gasol. And Gasol able to finish.
A guy like him cannot be left alone around the hoop. If you do, it'll be buffet style all day long. Plenty of seconds right there.
Simmons against Davis. Tries it from 19. And again, Tobias Harris. Harris has got 7 points for the quarter. Los Angeles leading by 21. 1:32 left in the game. Simmons against LeBron. And again, Los Angeles with a triple.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Los Angeles.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And so that moves their record to 11 wins on the year.
And it always feels good to get that first win in a season series. Going head-to-head twice this year, this will put them up 1-0 so far against the Sixers.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for LeBron.
And, you know, he was really important today. Integral, taking and making shots time and time again.
Parker passes to Scott. He dishes it to Hill. Fires it up. Another miss by Philadelphia. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
Matthews, no one around him, drills the three-pointer.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
And, you know, this is what's needed at this point in the game, Greg. The great teams know how to close it out.
Yes, that goes in.
Really like the presence of mind from Hill, preparing himself to shoot prior to the pass getting to him.
So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. It was a tale of two teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. AD, it looked like you guys were having some fun out there. Is there a new dynamic coming up offensively?
No, we just don't care who scored the ball. You know, the ball movement was great. Everybody's rebounding and talking. So when we play like that, it's fun to watch. You know, and everybody out there having fun, smiling, a lot of emotion. That's all we asked. That's all Coach asked for, and we did that tonight.
Good win tonight, AD. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you later.